Winner goes home. Or excuse me, winner stays in, loser goes home.
Winner goes home.
You know what? That's how you play. You play to lose. But anyways, we're here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. We see a lot. This is one where we've seen more Lucio play traditionally, potentially some Kel'Thuzad, but instantly taking Morales off the map. And you know, we've seen the play on taking Cho'Gall away from Numerics, and we haven't really seen it played, but every time Heroes Hearth plays them, they ban Cho'Gall. So maybe there's something in their back pocket that they might potentially pull out in this series or in this game in particular. Tomb of the Spider Queen, one of the more above average Cho'Gall maps. You know, you tend to look at a few others as the top tier, but we'll see here as, again, the Morales was banned out first by Trademark.
Definitely a hero on the rise. Does very well. We've seen the Morales with Lunara, Gul'dan, you name it. And those are both heroes that are very good on this map in particular. 10 seconds on the clock. Now, naturally, Tassadar is very good at goaltending, right? It's one of the heroes we've got to always think about. And ETC does end up being the ban. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Very good just for the rotations. Never want to get dove on by ETC. And pass first pick, however.
You called it. I think that we'll probably see more tasks as the night moves on, but first ban there. Now, will we see the response from Numerics? Do they feel like they have to pick up the volley here to deny it from Trademark, or will they let that through, maybe have some tricks of their own? Numerics has been more than comfortable kind of drafting for themselves as opposed to the hard counters. And again, if I see an Ariel here in our first rotation, it'd have to be here. Normally, if you're going to play it, you're going to run into the first pick Ariel. That's generally when you can get away with picking the Cho'Gall. Less counters late in the draft if you pick it in the last few slots when you're last pick. So we'll see. I mean, we've seen stranger things happen.
Lot of thought going into these early picks, running through as many scenarios as the time allots for them to consider their opportunities in these drafts. Numerics goes Rhaegar and Greymane, the Wolfpack. I was very curious if we were going to see something like an early Ariel. You were mentioning that we often see the Cho'Gall ban when Heroes Hearth plays against Numerics. Cho'Gall doesn't work too well without Ariel. So you can put that threat on the table by picking her. Doesn't mean he's unplayable with Rhaegar, but it's still a lot less likely.
Double support. Rhaegar has the wave clear. Greymane has the wave clear. Greymane can follow up on all that damage. I don't necessarily like it. The other thing I don't like, and I talked about this last night, I want to talk about it again because it's a trend that I've seen a lot of. I've just been diving a lot into the drafts, trying to figure out why Greymane's win rate has fallen off so drastically. And I think that it's kind of the double support. He has trouble executing, and he has trouble executing within the double support. So if they're going to go Rhaegar, I'm hoping that we see the solo Rhaegar. Right now, there's nothing too threatening to make them go away from that. I tell you one thing, that if you did want to try and go Cho'Gall, which you'd have to do next, the Ariel pickup would actually be a decent pickup for Trademark, and they would have no problem denying that from you. So pretty likely we won't see that.
Well, you never know. It is now time for the next ban phase here. You already have to worry about the Vala Tassadar. It's going to just be constant pressure. Arthas for the good, sound front line, big heals. Also gives you some good lockdown for the team. If they want to try to control the support pool a little bit, I don't know if that's going to be the #1 game maker. You think it's just going to be 2-2-1 for Tomb?
I mean, generally when you see the TAS Vala, they generally are rotating, so at worst it'd be a 3-2 on the side of Trademark, as the Mouthveil denial, taking away that solo laner, that really strong solo laner, and somebody that actually does well against a Rhaegar Greymane style pickup. No hard CC yet, no good control unless you opt to go into the Lucio, and I already talked about the double support with the Greymane. Tends to have less than favorable results, and we see a Gul'dan being hovered for a ban.
They're worried about the ranged potential. Gul'dan has been denied. Still plenty of solid ranged assassins left.
There it is.
Okay.
There it is. All right. Here's the thing, is that Ariel now looks like a good pickup for Trademark, both because it goes well with Vala and it denies it from Numerics.
Like, I mean, do they have the option to not go Ariel?
Probably not. But the thing is that with this composition, this is one of the situations where it's always better to have Vala with Tassadar because Vala will heal up off the shields and you can kind of control that lane. However, Tassadar is not a slouch when it comes to the solo lane. So if we see this, I actually wouldn't mind seeing him slide down if you needed more damage. Something like a Tychus to either play the solo lane or a late second game. The reason I don't necessarily like Tychus as much is simply due to the fact that his auto attack range is a little bit shorter, so getting value out of his trait isn't as likely.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see. We'll see. I mean, if they it's a weird spot to be in.
You don't get the curse bullet. The Tychus can be solid for them. You want to take the Ariel away, but they're not going to do it. Cocoon is definitely a good thing to have, but now this is Greymane, Cho'Gall, Rhaegar, and likely Ariel as that last pick. Plenty of clear in the mix, tons of sustain available for the team, and it's hard to dive. It does mean Cho is the only warrior if they do go with that Ariel for the last pick. And yes, Anubarak and Arthas can put a lot of pressure on. Twilight Dreams can be devastating and damage.
Here's the reason why I think that you have to go double support, is that you can Cocoon the Cho'Gall, put down the roots, get the follow-up CC between Vala, Arthas, and then really lock him down. And the reason why I say that is strictly because Strangling Vines at level 7 from Malfurion. Because if he gets locked down, you're going to be throwing out that Ancestral. And if you can reduce the healing with the Strangling Vines, that Ancestral's value becomes a lot less. And so if you don't have that double support option, it might be a little bit more troubling. So if you can open up with that combo from Trademark, it is a good, not necessarily great counter. I was going to say, Leoric would have worked out really well on the other side.
I mean,
Leo Ariel, but...
So it's a game.
Always
they had the option for Cho'Gall, and they opt to not do it. Regardless, Leo going to be firm in that lane. Cho'Gall going to constantly be sieging and poking and just continuous damage 100% of the time. And Leo gives you more control in the front line. We do have the buff to Leoric, although we don't see a lot of it, where March of the Black King, significantly more damage, tons of self-sustain for him. You additionally have the Entomb, and on this map in particular, Entomb, there's so many places where it's dangerous. So we'll see how much of this pick is designed towards giving them a hard engage for team fights.
The Leoric Ariel pickup on the side of Trademark would have been just an excellent way to round out that draft.
No? Well,
instead they opted for the Nubarak and Malfurion. We'll see how it stacks up here. Game number 1 as Trademark Gaming will be taking on Team Numerics, and on the left will be Trademark as Show's going to be on Tassadar, KJ Kags on Arthas, Super on Anubarak, Meep Boop on Malfurion, and Whiskers on Vala.
Their opponents in the red team Numerics. Kwanzaa is going to be on Greymane. Caesar Salad on the Rhaegar. We got Flyest Raven, Rock, and Leoric. And then Fosvin, FASD, and Vin playing Cho'Gall.
Had a Caesar salad at lunch today. It was delicious.
Was it a chicken Caesar or a classic Caesar?
I had chicken as my main course with a side Caesar salad. It was pretty good. We'll see if Caesar salad is going to be as good in this game as we see the 3-2 split early on for the moment before they rotate on down, as Anubarak and Arthas kind of hanging around a little bit. Arthas will be the solo laner in this setup.
Both of the supports on the side of Trademark going for a little bit of more presence with that clear. Ooh, fancy. Tossed some salad. Says Arthas. He's ready to. He's going to toss this. They didn't pick Garrosh, though.
There's no Garrosh.
Yeah.
No tossing in this one. But we do see the Moonfire build this time from Malfurion, helping towards that wave clear. We also see the Psystorm build. Not that single target damage with the auto attack that you sometimes see from Tassadar in this instance. Trying to make sure that they can control the battleground in case things do go awry.
So we have some split pressure, putting some presence in the top lane, while they leave Kwanzaa and Husband in the mid lane to pressure a Numerak. They force him to tap the well, and he's not going to be super healthy after that either. But they've also been putting on some pressure in the top. It's not necessarily even trades yet. We'll see. We'll see. I'm worried about this mid lane.
Yeah, the rotations, it's kind of weird. When Cho'Gall is kind of your main damage dealer, you didn't go Lightning Bond with Rhaegar. It's a quick clear, but you've got to go into those situations where you got to step forward to get the gems. And you know, it looked fine. You got really quick wave clear, but you don't have the Ariel, who didn't have the mana bar. Instead, you've got Rhaegar, who does have a mana bar. And it can become something of an issue, but the fact that they're not doing anything in that mid lane is really surprising, BG.
They just haven't been able to rotate because Cho'Gall will just push and start pressuring the top. Without the ammunition, Greymane's been able to maintain the pressure onto Super here in the mid. Leo will handily hold his ground in the bottom lane, showing their early game strategy. That's why they opted for Leoric in that last pick of the draft. Has done he's one of the best heroes to just lane against Arthas. He does so efficiently with Drain Hope. Arthas wants to keep you next to him. Leoric just laughs and cackles as he drains out your soul.
Numerics just getting bullied mid lane. You have Tassadar. You can rotate, but instead, right there, he's using Psystorm to help clear.
Yeah.
It doesn't, or to put some damage onto Caesar's talent. If you're losing mid lane that hard, you might want to consider using that elsewhere. Look at those auto attacks. There they are.
Flyest Raven. It's the loudest auto attack in the game. I think that is a fact. And yeah, man, for a reason. It hits hard. The Cho'Gall not going to get caught out here as they were looking for. Another tunnel lockdown. They just have that root. Is impactful for sure. Mid lane, just about losing the tower. Super just came off cooldown when it comes to the well. Going to use that in the mouthfields to top back up. Anything weird happening with these builds?
I want to see Strangling Vines at 7 for Malfurion. You can get control with the slow and everything, but I'd really like to see that Strangling Vines, and Kwanzaa is going to get caught out here.
Oh.
The heal comes in at the last minute. You have extra size as the Colossal Totem was picked up at 1, giving you a little bit of disengage that you desperately needed there. And Cho'Gall now under assault, eating the damage.
Yeah, really nice peels from both the tanks, going in just in the nick of time to, again, make space for that heal. Stop the DPS for just a split moment, and the disengage then came off cooldown. So I'm shocked they were able to get him out of there, but that's a good win for them.
Yeah, Colossal Totem. I was a little bit surprised at the early pick, but got a little bit of value there, so.
Yeah, it's not the most common of Rhaegar builds. Commonly, if you're running lone support Rhaegar, we see more of the healing totem at level 4 as well. This time we've got Feral Heart here to help maintain that mana pool. Usually that's the case, but I guess this is going to be a Rhaegar spamming a lot of abilities throughout this game. And Caesar Salad has spent a lot of time in the wolf form, just making sure he's there for that chain heal. Back in wolf form, throw down a totem, rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat so far. I tell you, one of my favorite questing talents in the game, especially the uncapped one, is the Bombs Away at level 4 for Gall. Already 8 stacks in. Once you get 20, you get extra range and speed on that, thus making it even easier to stack. And Jake, we already know about that combo of the 13 talent, where you get cooldown reduction on enemies hit, and the 16 silence on that. Can be pretty terrifying for Cho'Gall late game.
It gets so scary. The Bombs Away, when that's fully farmed up.
There it is. There's our blow up. There's our blow up build now. We got Strangling Vines. You get the Cocoon, you get the Trap, you've got the Q build on Vala. It's going to be your best bet to try and burst through that damage from Cho'Gall. We'll see if the Ogre Hide, the big callous, he went excuse me, he did not go, but he went Fuel for the Flame, which, you know, you talked about, are there any weird talents? This is one where I actually tested this out before. Fuel for the Flame, you get more healing whenever it's kind of like Seasoned Marksman, except you get the amount healed off Consuming Blaze, which Tomb of the Spider Queen, one of the easiest one to stack on minions.
That's a good point. And maybe that's part of their strat here. It is going to be a full turn-in on the side of Numerics with good early control in this game. 0 deaths so far at the 6-minute marker. but the pressure of a Cho'Gall behind the Web Weavers as they siege becomes that much more hard to deal with. Bottom lane has 3 members of the blue side on Trademark Gaming. They're going to try to clean that up, and they should be able to do that quickly. But actually, they're opting to rotate up to defend the mid fort as the Web Weaver does approach.
Yeah, it's the early structure damage has been pretty significant in the fact that we have a full level lead as that fort goes down, and it might get even farther ahead here as one tower goes down.
Wow, the damage.
That's only 12 stacks, 13 stacks. Imagine what that's going to be like. It's infinite stacking, Jake. Infinite stacking.
That bomb is just rolling on in, building up that power. Cho'Gall looks as healthy as can be. Bottom Web Weaver is about to expire. That'll end the phase, but 10 has already been picked up as 9 is just now being collected from inside of Trademark. And that gives them all the opportunity in the world to continue on this aggressive stance if they please, but waiting for the minion wave at least is a good call. Turn in 2 more seconds before they can try to drop off their gems. 3 shy, 1 minion wave shy of the back-to-back potential.
That'd be a big win. It's not necessarily critical, but what it does is it buys you time to get to the late game as Cho'Gall. By having that, it's a long road to recovery for Trademark, but Tomb of the Spider Queen does have that potential to allow teams to come back. Again, post-level 10, this game is going to look a lot different. The Cocoon, you have the Strangling Vines. If you can get the blow up there, we'll see how that plays out if they can execute the combo that I talked about. We also have a lot of questing talents that are still trying to be completed. Cho'Gall sitting at 17, or at least Gall is on that bomb. And then on the other side, the Hungering Arrow build was completed in that last skirmish.
Caesar Salad caught by the barrow, then the Howling Blast follow-up, but Cho'Gall has all the peels in the world. Hammer of Twilight gets some good use there. Short cooldown. They did go for March of the Black King, Hammer of Twilight, and the Twisting Nether for those 3. Go for the throat also, just for a little bit more blow-up potential on this team. Always good to try to use that against something like a Malfurion in the event he doesn't have Ice Block at the ready. Top Web Weaver doesn't get much done. Mid takes out the fort. 1 fort remains, and that's where they're sieged right now here in the top lane.
They're putting a lot of pressure on. 19 stacks. Will it be 20? Bombs going out. Not going to hit, but 1 more, and those things go a lot faster and a lot further. Flyest Raven on Leoric is like, look, guys, I've got pretty good wave clear. I've got Neil Peasants at level 4.
Dude,
it's pretty easy to get through here if I'm Leoric.
Yeah, man, it's made a big difference in this. They have to force wall just to make sure they're safe to finish cleaning this up. Arthas has been in the bottom lane soaking and dealing with that Web Weaver, so the phase is about over. The experience continues to climb, favoring the side of Team Numerics.
Where are your opportunities? Trademark. You're on even talent tier, so you can get a turn in. You have 104 gems in your pocket, 15 turned in. Got a boss being started at the top. Cho'Gall the entire time. If we look at the minimap, he's just kind of poking away, giving the illusion of like, hey, nothing's going on. We're not casually just taking a boss top. That's not happening. I'm not trying to dismount you at all. I'm not trying to keep vision for my team.
And they figured it out. They figured it out. They know that there's either a party bush or something weird happening, and unfortunately, they're not going to make it there in time to deny the boss. Again, this makes it weird. They're at least trying to drop off some of the gems, but no, only 39 have been. They had 1/10, so now they have 86 remaining. So yeah, at least it's a decent amount dropped off, but not the Web Weaver summon they're looking for.
They were super late for that rotation. It's either you commit to the defense there, or you turn in bottom. Instead, they recognized it and then decided, wait a minute, we should turn in bottom after they get boss. It was a little bit too late.
Oh, Sho just took infinite damage, by the way. The siege from the Greymane Gilnean Cocktail, and the Cho'Gall just throwing all these skill shots. It's scary, dude. We are done with bombs away.
He has 28 stacks and counting. 29 stacks. I'm telling you, it's so much fun to watch it. Level 13, Jake. You get the cooldown reduction, runic feedback. Every enemy you hit, 1 second. Every hero you hit, it's 2 seconds. Plenty of minions, plenty of people to hit a show.
He hit Tazanar twice there.
Not too bad.
Yeah, it goes so much faster. Fun, just little pressure they're putting on. Even getting the hit on the super and continuing. Greymane is, meanwhile, grabbing them the Night Camp in the back. They're just continuing to play this minigame of farming up the queue. And, you know, we talked about this in the draft. Every single game, I believe it's 6 games that we've had with them versus Heroes Hearth in the last 2 weeks. Heroes Hearth has snap banned Cho'Gall without even. Maybe
I think we know now.
Maybe with the one game that didn't happen. Maybe. Regardless, we see why.
I'd say things are going really well here. Cho'Gall being locked down for the moment. Hammer of Twilight for the disengage. Roots are going to miss.
Malf can't deal. He can't keep up with this. Malf and Tassadar are being whittled down to their then forced into defensive posture. They're on same talent tier. This is kind of a window where they need a fight. They need to turn in, but they just can't find a way to engage on this.
42. Oh, Super missed the wall. He's going to get the stun into the wall, and that is 46 gems that are lost as he headbutts the wall, and KJ Kags comes over into that nightmare, that twisting nether just deletes him.
Toro, he saw red, ran straight into that red flag against the wall, and man, that's costly. Both their tanks are down. The gates are open for a huge siege. What was a opportunity to look for a turn-in now turns into massive gems lost. Experience differential becoming mega problematic as 16 is now about to be collected, as Leo is just casually pushing with Giants in the bottom. And, oh man.
This composition is terrifying. Everything we've seen Heroes Hearth, every time they've banned out, it's like, is this a real ban? I think, yeah, we've got ourselves a real ban. Fazvin going in, the cleanse out. The Siege Giants are still there. I don't know if they'll be able to take the keep, but you best believe with Cho'Gall now at 16, the silence is there every time that rune bomb hits, but wait a minute.
16 advantage. Greymane is locked in. The Ancestral does hit its mark. Twilight Dream going to be enough to make sure they pick up that kill. That was a great use of the cocoon, keeping Cho'Gall out of it, but once he pops out, he pops you. Kill after kill, as Whiskers will be the next one to fall here, and the keep will be soon after. They could look to end the game.
Gems were everywhere on the map, only 47 being held after holding on to so many. The keep will go down without Greymane. They have the siege potential, but I don't know if they've got the damage. Early death timers, they're just going to fall back.
Fall back, grab the Merc Camp, turn in your gems, get the Web Weavers. Mid is already completely open. Boss is ready in 40 seconds. Top is already completely open. Siege, control, and win the game.
All right, let's talk about that. Every time that hits, you get the cooldown reduction. Right now, the rune bomb damage, 454. Bonus damage, 245. That damage is nasty.
68,000 damage dealt in this game. A lot of it is just poke. And, you know, Meat Moop and Tassadar have been able to keep up. Their mana bars haven't really been super problematic yet. Ooh, Fly's Raven just wiggling and wobbling.
Damage reduction. You know, Vala did not go Gloom, which has the built-in reduction. I'm a little bit surprised. Instead, opting for Siphoning Arrow. Cho'Gall's on boss.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. And this is now known to the world because the Web Weavers have been turned in, which despawns any mercenary camp that is not already in battle, initiated with someone else.
It's only at about half health.
16 isn't here, though.
Kwanzar's really far out.
Kwanzar is in a bad spot. Ancestral is available if they do need it. Flyest Raven grab some focus, cleanse, and Ancestral spent. But Greymane now doesn't have that kind of big sustain they want. We do see the cocoon. Big March of the Black King, however, bringing them all very low. Gilding Cocktail not hitting, did not explode, doing 0 damage, and they should have focused the cocoon.
Oh!
Comes out the Twisting Nether!
Oh my goodness! Cho'Gall comes out and he's like, I'm here! Surprise! Like, nobody expected that, and they were so clumped. One rune bomb went out, Twisting Nether went out, everybody exploded, and not only the March of the Black King, but the March of the Core comes in as the boss and Web Weavers are going to finish off the top keep, and Team Numerics will finish off game number 1 in very, very impressive fashion.
I have to say, that is the most impactful March of the Black King I have seen ever, just since the rework of Leoric. It's not just the damage done. It's not just the sustain he received. It's the buying the time. He's on the point. He's opening the space for Cho'Gall to respawn. There was no Ancestral left.
Rhaegar didn't even attack the cocoon.
No one did. No one did.
Fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm just going to bite somebody over here. You know what? You're fine. I'm not even going to worry about you over there because the minute you come out, it's game over. That was crazy, Jake. Crazy.
Heroes Hearth knows to respect the Cho'Gall of Team Numerics, and now I feel that Trademark Gaming knows to respect the Cho'Gall of Team Numerics.
It's pretty wild. I think it was 54 stacks. I checked in game before we got out of there, but 75,000 damage for a Gall. If you're playing Cho'Gall with somebody, just remember, it's more about Gall doing the damage than Cho doing the damage. And the rune bombs were repeatedly going out. And a lot of
Cho
people will
the
play
peels,
Cho and they're like,
yeah.
I've got to go melee.
Yeah.
I've got to get in the middle here. It's normally where Cho'Galls die.
Yeah.
If you play around, and he also went the stacking talent at level 7 on the Shadow Flame, and that started to ramp up. And so you get the cooldown reduction once that's completed. And you just enable the Gall as a Cho player. It's like playing a tank. It's better to enable your damage instead of trying to do all the killing as the tank. That is impressive. Rip Greymane. 1 death.
Here's the only death of the game.
Yeah, feels bad.
All right, we got a lobby. We are going to Cursed Hollow for this next game.
It's not a Cho'Gall map.
No, but
I'd let Cho'Gall through.
I think that's reasonable. I think
play
that's
like
reasonable.
A specialist.
And maybe it was a map pick on the side of Trademark. Because, like you
I
said,
wouldn't blame him. Would not blame him. You know, it's not like Trademark had a bad draft. I mean, again, I think the Malfurion pick over the Ariel there, and even then the Ariel wasn't quite there, but not picking Leoric for yourself felt a little bit weird. Leoric would have been able to, even if he dies, it's not that big of a deal, but you would have been able to have some type of engagement on there. You could have not cocooned, but you could have entombed into the roots, leave that target out, things like that. You could have got more value. Hindsight's 20/20 there, but you know, it was just really well played, and now we know why Heroes Hearth has always been banning this against Numerics. So I think it's a respect ban. Knock over the water here.
knock over everything.
I'm trying to give you room to work, but either way, I think that they made a statement for the rest of the tournament. It did Numerics of like, look, if we keep going these small battlegrounds or Cho'Gall battlegrounds, it's a ban. It is a ban. It is a first. It didn't have to be first ban.
That game was definitely well done, well executed by Numerics. Trademark, can they bring it back? Both teams are ready. So let's get going onto Cursed Hollow for Game 2. 1-0 lead is a best-of-3 series right now. And, you know, it's definitely a big relief if you can win this series now. You have the rest of the night to think and prepare for your opponent tomorrow. The team that is waiting for the winner of the series is Donkeys R Us. And Donkeys look like a different team today. So they got to, whoever wins this needs to go home or log out of Heroes, watch those VODs, see what they did, and construct their strategy.
Got game 2 underway. Trademark with first pick, first ban. So we'll see how this plays out as Abathur is our first ban. Will we see a Dahaka, a Tassadar, or something else? I highly doubt they'll be banning any Greymane potential to deny the Cho'Gall, or they ban out Greymane because he's a pretty good hero, and you psych your opponent out into thinking that Hario might be coming.
Could be the Dahaka, could be the ETC, could be the Tassadar, could be the Numeric, as that's being hovered right now. All depends on how they want to approach it. With, you know, I'm just going to keep saying the Rise of Brightwing. I wouldn't be all that shocked to see a first pick. It seems weird, but it's a good map for it. I feel like as far as globals go, she has felt like the most impactful global of this tournament so far, over Dahaka, over Stage Dive ETC, you name it. And Malthael does get banned out here, putting additional emphasis onto the power of the solo lane. But they go ETC first pick. Oh,
You got it. Are you kidding me right meow? What in, I mean, the Malthael ban, that's what they did last game, and then they went into it, but for fear of it being banned out, second ban. And this could come back to haunt them. Now, if I'm Trademark, I'm recognizing the fact that there are bodies missing.
You got to grab Greymane here, though, right?
Greymane seems like a nice, safe option. But I want to see some specialist play. I want to see a Zagara. I want to see a potential Sylvanas, which might be personal bias. But if you're wanting to control the battleground and force the Cho'Gall to... if you take a Sylvanas and a Greymane in a lane, and Cho'Gall's not around, Cho'Gall has perfectly fine siege damage. But he sure is not going to beat a Sylvanas Greymane. And if you want to control the battleground and not get bullied around by a Cho'Gall, because at this point, trying to take team fights seems like a problem. They go into the Vala.
So Vala and Rhaegar. The Rhaegar is going to be really nice for them. This is a super well-rounded team no matter how you look at it. Amazing support, amazing tank, amazing ranged assassin to pick it all up. Right now we're seeing a Sergeant Hammer hover, and Jay, how they're thinking in the mind of running around that one less body on a big map right now. Sergeant Hammer,
I was going to say Sergeant Hammer, but I thought that would...
She's less traditional than Zagara, I'd say.
Oh, far less. I was going to include her in there in that specialist zone, but, you know. Sergeant Hammer does have Giant Killer at 13. Zarya is the ban. Or the hover. Again, and I talked about having those lanes. Sylvanas.
Leo makes a lot more sense than I mean, Hammer, if they're worried about the ring around the Rosy, just being outpushed, and then they do ban Ariel. Smart, makes sense. Take away that big support. No ancestral heal, no constant healer of Ariel, getting free energy forever.
You know, when you make a good play, you've done something good in life, sometimes you just kind of take a big deep breath, kind of puff your chest out, walk around.
Puff your chest out like a pufferfish.
Like a hen.
Like a hen.
Yeah. Pufferfish hen. I don't know where the chest comes in on a fish, but either way, you just kind of go with something you're feeling good about. And Malthael and Leo ban work well, but I'm telling you, the Cho'Gall can be beaten on a purely macro basis on such a large battleground. You don't have Rhaegar, you don't have Ariel, so your support options, you can go medic here, and you can feel pretty good about having
That's actually
Morales.
a good point, and she's in a really good state right now overall. Situational, not always necessarily the best option, but would work well here. If they go for it, they're going Stukov and Zeratul. Not at all what I was expecting. And let's think about this.
At this point, I don't know if I want to. I have no idea what's happening.
So Stukov benefits from healing multiple targets. He's not a single target healer, one less body already. Zeratul is often just off doing his own thing. Often needs burst sustain.
You ready for an upheaval game? VP into a lurking arm has been pretty terrifying, by the way. I've seen it, not often, but I've seen it, and it's a pretty terrible thing to deal with because you basically come out of there walking away, and if you have enough burst damage, that person gets deleted.
Okay. Not at all what I was expecting.
I'd say not even close.
Could you even take a guess at their last pick?
I mean, they're severely lacking wave clear.
They need a solo lane.
They need anything.
And they get a Numerics with Cocoon. Great, we saw the power of that. Almost worked out for some of those fights. Greymane with the Cursed Bullet. Again, a nice response. Their solo lane is not dominant.
You think they were watching last night and they want to try VP Ring?
Jaina? No.
No, I mean, obviously not against this composition. Stage dive and a dive in a Numerec.
Yeah, just no.
It's pretty terrifying. Or is it? I feel like a Sonya seems like a likely pickup here. Somebody who can survive in these team fights, who doesn't get completely threatened.
Do you think the Stukov is enough as a support?
They might just... Actually, they need range damage. This might be... Falstad? Li Ming?
But they don't...
I mean, Gaul counts.
What's your lane situation look like? Zagara. See, that's what I'm worried about. Is like, you have Cho'Gall. Inherently, you're restricted in terms of lane. You need someone that can alleviate that. I was even thinking of, like, maybe they try to do it with Brightwing. She can hold her own decently. They're going to go the Zagara route. This is going to be a weird game.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like the Anubarak pick. I don't at all.
Even Cocoon?
What did they do with it last game? They had no idea what to do with it.
It almost, the one fight they almost won was when Cho'Gall was
We already know where
locked in.
almost counts.
That's fair, but I don't know. I don't think you can discredit the Numerak pick completely. There's definitely merit in that.
Almost only counts. And
Yeah, that's fair.
checkers and violins, Jake.
Checkers and violins.
Think about it. Get back to me after the game. You'll get it. You'll get it. Just trust me.
Do you get kinged in checkers? Yeah, you do.
At least we know you're on the right track.
1-0 lead right now on the side of Team Numerics. They showed off their Cho'Gall after it always gets banned by Heroes Hearth, and now they're doing it again. Cursed Hollow, not necessarily the typical map in which you would see a Cho'Gall, and it's Stukov as a lone support. Gonna be a weird one.
Don't know what to make of this yet, but the solo support Stukov for a Cho'Gall, I'm trying to wrap my head around what makes Stukov the better pick here. Zagara holding. It's either going to be Infest or the Baneling build. Cho'Gall just walks out, gets some early damage. Slow motion.
I love it. I love it. Caesar salad. Showing off the slow ride.
Slow ride. Wait. Anyways, we got Infest picked up, my favorite Zagara talent at level 1. And I don't think that she's going to have much threat in the solo lane. Greymane can put a little bit of damage in, but every bit of siege damage you get as Zagara just makes her a lot stronger, and Greymane is here to respond, but not before the tower loses about 90% of its health.
Yeah, that's not as much as you can ask for as a Zagara, just being able to push in like that, uncontested for a fair bit of time. And, you know, we've talked about the lane situation. This Zagara last pick doesn't have a strong counter laner. Does need to be wary of the ETC and a Numerak in a rotation if he pushes too far ahead, but that's what the creep spread is all about. Well placed to give eyes on if that rotation is happening, and the additional movement speed will, of course, help a lot as well. Those roaches, the main lane is not actually going to connect on the damage to the minions, but still very close to getting that first tower down.
It's a lane that Zagara will win pretty easily. So we see Cho'Gall and Stukov here in the middle as they continue to just put the pressure on. That lane's being pressured, and this is one where you're probably not going to win, as Zeratul having a tough time against the Numerak.
He does have the well available. Refraining from tapping it at this moment. Cho'Gall is working on a giant camp right now. And ETC has moved up to the top half, so this has been cleared out. No vision on show at the moment. Kwanzaa just making sure to stay in upper position. As soon as you move down here, power slide becomes an issue. Gotta be careful though. And there's the power slide. Body blocks are going to be a big part of this. Kwanzaa looking for the retreat. Gillian Cocktail should not be enough for the kill. Ooh, dodges anyways. Nicely done.
Nicely done by Kwanzaa. And now, that rotation that you had up, Cho'Gall got the Siege Giants at the bottom, leaving the mid lane open. And now, instead of taking advantage and pressing that in, you don't get the gank top. And it's an overall win if you're on the side of Team Numerics.
Definitely a win. This Cho'Gall Siege with Giants. Just so much damage. Look at that tower. It just gets evaporated. And Super can't do anything about this. He can throw out an Impale. He can burrow charge in if he dares. But you don't know where Zeratul is. You've got the eyes of Kilrog spying on you and covering all of Cho'Gall's options, making him perfectly safe. Zeratul, the Runic Bomb actually didn't hit, and Whiskers canceled the channel.
It's the threat, especially against the questing one. Zeratul lurking on the backside, looking for an opportunity to go in as Cho'Gall is just going to continue to throw the bombs out. Meat move, channeling for the moment. Shadow Flame going to interrupt. Zeratul has now moved up to the mid lane. They're willing to concede this. Zagara had been defending Siege Giants the entire time top, but Cho'Gall in trouble.
Does he have the well? Looks like he has. Zagara ended up hearthing because of the threat Greymane was presenting, but Flyas Raven rotating up from Zeratul to put a little bit of damage on these Siege Giants and Greymane, getting the value in the top lane, trying to even the current standing of the structural health on each side. 7 is around the corner. And although Zeratul and Zagara are not here at the moment, they can do their best to stall. No, Meat Move does end up getting the first tribute of the game.
Just trying to figure out, what do we have Zagara doing? And she's soloing a Night Camp, which is a little bit tougher early game. Post 10, it's incredibly easy when you have Nidus, but will manage to take this down. We'll see what they are able to do with it as level 7 has now been picked up. Zagara going to have to get out of here, though. Zagara, Show!
Show hesitated.
One step further, he's got that kill, and he sees it.
It's one of those things, you know, some players will have their hand hovering the Q key with their ring finger or whatever, ready to press it in the event they see a target like that. And if he had done that, that's a kill. That kill catches up the XP, gives you a 2 tribute advantage in most cases, and sets you up nicely. They don't get it. It's not like it's a big loss to them. It just could have been a big gain for them.
Flyest Raven getting a little bit of damage in, but the spell armor on Anubarak keeping his health bar pretty healthy. The cocktail goes in, hits Zeratul in the bush there, but all of a sudden Fazvin has joined the party. Caesar Salad just holding position in the bush.
Okay, ETC and Zagara in the top. Zeratul backed away to clear the bottom lane. The additional XP and pushing the bottom will help for sure. They need him to help with this stall. Finding Greymane doing some nice damage. Oh, the juke, but not enough as Super turns around with the Impale and they find the kill.
They found the kill. They might be looking for more if, okay.
So they're giving this up in favor of a top 4, I guess, hoping for 10 and their ability to contest the next tribute.
Yeah, the next tribute's going to be at the top right, so it'll be a lot easier to contest. They should have 10 by then as well. Barring their opponent doesn't have it, but it will make it a lot easier for Numerics to contest the next one. They valued the early pushes so far. I imagine they'll try and make some boss plays before we know it.
Well, the Infest / Medusa does make Zagara's push rather deadly. Vicious Acid also picked up just for a little bit more control in these fights, because it's so constant, the Baneling pressure that's going to be flying on out. Do have the Fallen Shaman, or the Night Camp being grabbed here on the left side. 10 is picked up, but Tribute still nowhere to be found.
Do you have any structure damage on the side of Numerics at all?
A little bit in the top, that's it. I don't think anything has been done.
Very healthy.
Yeah.
No ammo in that model.
But they've got 2 tributes, so the actual experience advantage isn't huge until these forts fall. And yes, that one's very low. Cho'Gall has been pressured away. Tribute is up and available. 10 is just about here, and actually they can't safely get here. The positioning is far in favor of Trademark Gaming right now.
It is. With nobody coming on the flank side, it looks like they might try the stall tactic. They have Siege Giants pushing bottom. Zagara, I believe, might be trying to get the Nidus. Yeah, gets the Nidus down, moves to the top lane, watching the minimap entirely. Flyest Raven.
Good jukes, good jukes. Does have that VP. And Greymane actually queued into the bush, trying to find Flyest Raven. Presently, I think he did show to the minion wave, so they have an idea of where he is. Singing wildly, Whiskers misses the Q. Now Cho'Gall is making his way down. Zagara is going to be able to get that tribute. I'm afraid Ancestral has to be used.
Fazvin, the power slide over. Gonna walk away from this, at least for the moment. He's taking a long way out right now, avoiding the body blocks, but he's like, wait a minute, you guys are going to back up. I might come back in. Get some rune bomb stacks, some runic bomb stacks.
Riding at 9 right now.
Bot fort drill.
Yeah, bot fort to the Giants. Top fort will follow soon. Cho'Gall doesn't have to do much to the mid fort to knock that one down.
I talked about Zagara. Some specialists would have been a good pickup on the side of Trademark. Instead, it's looking like a great pickup for Numerics right now.
Ooh, unfortunate tribute timing and location. Flyest Raven has the blink to get to safety, and Super's even hearthing because the mana pool is just about empty. They're going to have to do their best to stall this out. Good Curse Bullet applying the pressure, but Stukov now starting to heal the team up. Oh, the stall will be there.
Roaches go down as well. It is interrupted. Nubrek making his way back over. Nobody with a talent tier advantage, and you know, it's only going to take a little bit. We're going to see if we get...
They're pinging the Giants, too. They're aware that they can stick around all they want, but this actually isn't a curse against them. They're looking for the fight. They don't want to concede the curse, but Flailing Swipe has to be used.
Flailing Swipe, the cleanse on Defalas. Flyest Raven goes in. The heal starting to spread as Fazbin in a little bit of trouble. The mosh pit is out. Only one caught in, but that is immediately interrupted by Stukov.
I think he got pushed away by the Twilight Hammer just before he started that mosh pit, getting 0 value out of it. Now the VP has been cast to lock them down and set up the plays. Boom, the Runic Bomb crashing on in. Flyest Raven has the positioning to get Meat Moop.
Wow.
That's a boss hit.
That's a boss, and Zagara getting back in, getting some health and mana out of that Nidus network. We'll see. I imagine she'll instantly push top, try and get that pushed out, and the entire team might make a play for that top right boss. It's actually a small window. If you're going to make a double boss play, you don't want to run into the same problem that we just saw with Trademark, to where they start to cap it a little bit too close to the tribute spawn time, and Zagara already moves up there instantly, waiting for some backup to start that boss.
I love it. They've got full map control, huge experience lead, 13 advantage, and presence everywhere. Flyest Raven working on the Siege Giants to keep the pressure on bottom boss.
Zagar backed off the boss because nobody came to help.
That's actually pretty funny. Cho'Gall could poke this, but doesn't want to risk it, it seems. Minions will get some good value. Actually, they'll get it at this rate. Yeah.
No level 13.
Oh, getting both towers there. It's a lot of XP.
Yeah, that's a lot of XP. No level 13 here. They're posturing for a fight, but I think that they should be okay with giving up a Gersier. You're going to give up a bit. You have Siege Giants on top, which will buy you a little bit of time. The bot keep obviously is a threat. This Night Camp will push in the mid, make this a little bit easier. It's going to be watched for at least a moment to see who's around. Flyest Raven has eyes on the backside. Meat move.
All right, they throw out the cocoon, trying to isolate Cho'Gall. The cursed bullet going out, and Fazbin is very low, but they've swapped their target with VP, interrupting all of their approach, and the Ancestral does not connect. What a turnaround there by the side of Numerics.
They just have all the answers that they need as we see this minion wave has pushed in, taken half the health off. Show is eating so much damage. Ancestral will land this time. Flyest Raven not able to confirm the kill, but the keep does go down.
Keep down. Noob about to respawn, so no potential to continue pushing into the core. They're actually going to throw Flyest Raven back home. This boss is still an option. They're going for the Night Camp first. Seeing Show, they opt to leave. That's the end of the curse.
Zagara going to make a second attempt. This is a small window that if you are Trademark, maybe you can contest because you're on even talent tiers, at least for a moment. The creep is down, going to supply the vision. Fazbin holding his ground for the moment.
Ancestral, 50 seconds, VP 30 seconds. The two meaningful cooldowns that are present, but it's not 16 yet. The advantage that you'd expect to see isn't there. Zeratul escaping the clutches of that rain of vengeance. Bosch will leash soon. The health bar is already replenishing as this fight is just scrappy on both sides. So many low targets. Whiskers is going to be the first death, and Flyest Raven escapes under the nose of Keygags.
Big plays by Zeratul, taking advantage of Seeker of the Dark at level 7, confirming that kill. Now you've got Sentenced to Death at level 16, which makes the damage even more terrifying. So nice plays on that backside.
I'm liking the Flyest Raven play in general. Saw some really nice mouthfeel yesterday. I'm loving his Zeratul. He's landing impactful Void Prisons offensively, defensively, you know, constantly baiting out skill shots. When you bait out things like Rain of Vengeance, it really adds up.
The opportunities for Trademark are not lost just yet because you just gave up a curse. There's no real threat at the moment as Flyest Raven was dismounted. There's the cursed bullet. No follow-up. Lockdown outside of the power slide. A new Barak not there.
Close
Very
calls.
close.
And the
VP
boss
is up.
Good focus on the boss. Not going to really do much damage.
Good cleanup. Good
Cocoon,
cleanup.
Cocoon. Can they respond? That is a Chagall in that web. Flyest Raven becomes their focal point, or their focus point. And got the Twisting Nether. They're looking to fight.
Oh my, Ancestral got off just in time, but the Rune Bomb goes in, takes down Rhaegar. KJ Kag's in a lot of trouble. The power slide over onto Cho'Gall, and now the VP is out.
That's a clean VP. Here comes the bomb. Boom. Get out the way, because you're dead. And they're going to get super down as well. This is game.
If it's game, why is Kwanzaa leaving? Kwanzaa, come back. You've got enough mana.
I wanted to get this wall.
Baby, come back. You know, Team Numerics showing why Cho'Gall's banned out every single time Heroes Heart plays it after we haven't had an opportunity. It's not completely over yet, but the shield's starting to fall.
Cho'Gall? It's going to be
Cho'Gall.
They're hard pressed to stop this, yeah. He's got so much HP. Losing Rhaegar pretty much spells good game, good luck, have fun. We'll chase you to death, KJ.
43%, 5 versus 3. A Cho'Gall with a stacked Rune Bomb. Gonna put the pressure on.
Cocoon onto the Cho'Gall as they try to focus Caesar Salad. Zeratul has the burst damage, quickly evaporating that noob Barak. Onto Show, the ETC. There come the Hydras, the Mutalisks, the Roaches, and the Cho'Galls.
And an exploding ETC. But either way, Team Numerics shows why they've had the respect ban on the Cho'Gall, and I must say, it looked pretty terrifying there in 2 games.
It really did. I mean, there's no other way to put it. They played it on Cursed Hollow. They made a draft work. The Zagara fit perfectly as to what they were trying to do, and they just tore them apart. Every time Cho'Gall came out of the cocoon, the fight changed.
It changed in a big way.
And that last fight was pretty cool because Cho'Gall was really far forward, and the team didn't try to rescue Cho'Gall. They're like, no, Cho'Gall's fine.
It's fine.
They immediately went for Zeratul, who just ran. And once Cho'Gall was out, they're like, all right, re-engage. Twisting Nether opens it up, gets in the middle of the pack. The VP was middle of the fight, huge impact as well. It was just a well-played game.
I said it in game 1 that I feel like maybe a Leo, Ariel, something, try and counter the Cho'Gall and also give you playing towards that battleground. I felt the same thing here. They gave up the Zagara, didn't take it themselves, didn't take any type of map control.
Yeah.
They lost every single lane in the early going. It felt weird. It felt weird early game, and they got so far behind. You know, they actually won the first 2 tributes, but they gave up a lot of push in the process because Zeratul was able to split off at some point. Zagara was able to split off and just kind of hold the lane. And it just seems like they didn't have control of the battleground. They didn't have control of the team fights.
No.
And I really wonder if maybe 1 or 2 different picks in either of those games could have helped out in either one scenario or another.
It's Heroes of the Storm. A lot of it is in the draft and knowing how to adapt on the fly. And they just,
Raven.
you know, Flyest Raven. I'm impressed.
Plays.
I am impressed
really
with
good
Flyest
plays.
Raven. This team in general, Team Numerics, is, I would say, the most improved team this season.
By far.
And what a time to reach a strong power level as playoffs. They will be moving on in the lower bracket to face Donkeys R Us tomorrow. That'll be the first match tomorrow. We've got one more match tonight. It is Heroes Hearth versus Imported Support in a best-of-5 series. The winner is in the grand finals and in the Crucible. It's a big deal. That's up next. Stay tuned. Tell your friends. Get on social media. We'll be back in just a few.